You wake up with the grill in? You wake up with the grill in?
Yeah. 24/7.
Hey, it's Lil D. So I'm here with D Smoke. So my brand is Love Lessons. I always teach people to love themselves to a better life.
Okay.
What's your love lesson?
Okay, my love lesson is, I guess the best form of self-love is challenging yourself to grow. There's somebody I follow who says positive pain. When you subject yourself to difficult things in the name of growing, then you walk through the world with more confidence. So that's self-love. Whether that be exercise, whether that be eating good, whether that be reading something. You know, it's the stuff you don't feel like doing that's usually the best for you. So love yourself first, then you offer more love to everybody else.
That's crazy because that's 3 different lessons in my
it?
book. Yes, you smart. I knew it. You understand,
Love
man.
yourself, nigga.
Hey, it's Lil D. Listen, let me tell you something. You know I be lying when artists be coming through and I be like, oh my God, I love your music and I really be listening to you. You so talented. But like, I ain't got to do that with you. D Smoke is here.
Hey, appreciate you having me.
Listen, I appreciate you coming. I am not only just a fan because you're dope, but because of the way you move and like how you're doing it.
Thank you.
Like, I did a little background info on you, and that's the only thing I did not do before I listened to your music. I had to go back, and I'm like, hold on, who is this man? Let me really get into it real quick. You come from a musical family.
Absolutely. Yeah.
How has the gospel influenced you musically?
Gospel was all we were allowed to listen to at first. So it was, I think there's so much more musicality in gospel music than there is in you know, traditional like mainstream hip hop or mainstream anything.
Mm-hmm.
You know, gospel pushes boundaries. It pulls from jazz, classical. If you listen to gospel, you listening to musicianship at its highest form. And so I think it, like for me and my brothers, Sir and Davion, it just raised our musical IQ, so to speak, just by being exposed to that much like music. And then of course there's the element where it's like you have a heart for people. If you really grow up in a gospel household where, you know, mom is a minister, pops is a minister, and not the kind of ministers just like collecting checks. It's like they'll struggle, but they'll take somebody into their home and give them half of their last, you know. You have a heart for people to where that translates into the music as well. Like some people don't make music like they actually love the people that listen, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, but I believe me and my brothers, we do because of how we were raised, you know, in close proximity to the gospel world.
I agree with that. My parents are Jehovah's Witnesses, so we wasn't allowed to listen to nothing. The only rap we could listen to was MC Hammer and the Fresh Prince because they didn't cuss.
That's funny.
I swear.
That's funny. Rap, I mean, of course, rap had its way of sneaking into the house, you know what I'm saying? You know, when Moms was out, my Uncle Rich would babysit us sometimes, and then he put us on Snoop Dogg. I was like 6 years old, you know what I'm saying? Then my big brother Ron put us on Outkast, you know, and then it just kept making its way into the house, and you know, by the time we was 13, it was like, oh yeah, we listening to rap. You know
I definitely had the cassette of Elevators.
Yeah,
because they just got inducted in the Hall of Fame, and I was like, oh my God, I remember when I had that cassette. And I had Master P Ice Cream Man. Parents ain't know nothing about that.
I ain't know nothing about that.
What?
Not at the time.
Oh yeah, you know.
Because it was only specific ones that slipped through the cracks. It's Fred Hammond, Kirk Franklin, Yolanda Adams, Outkast. You know what I'm saying?
That's fair.
Caesar, you know, but
that's fair. What it did teach me though, not being able to like listen to everything, when I got a chance to listen to stuff, oh honey.
It hit different.
Ooh. I feel like you appreciate music more when you were restricted for what you could listen to.
Absolutely.
And then coming from ministers, people who had open hearts. I just read a book called The Go-Giver. Best book ever. Okay. It's like these 5 principles or like laws of how to be successful. And the whole book is based on service. And it's talking about how when you truly give from your heart and the thing that you give helps other people, you are bound to be successful.
Dope.
I feel like I could be wrong, but I really feel like that, like your spirit and your music is like that. Like you don't make music to get a check. You make music to serve the people, and you're grateful for the check.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I create music because I believe that's what I was put on earth to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't remember choosing music, you know. And it's interesting because I completely agree with what you're saying. It's both you're destined to be successful when you first define what success means to you, right? And it aligns with healthy principles and you know the why behind what you do, which is like, how are you helping people with your talents and stuff? But oftentimes in music, the way things are set up, you know, it's also in choosing a strong why, you're also choosing a longer road.
Yeah.
You know, so you got to be in it for the right reasons. You feel me? But yeah, and it's all good, you know, because when you define success for yourself, then you feel successful way earlier when, you know, it's not way out ahead of you. It's right when you align, you're successful then. So just walk it.
So how do you define success?
Success is doing what I love while being able to and make it meaningful, make it impactful. The minute I'm impactful and inspirational, I'm already successful. I was successful as a school teacher, like very successful. It's still one of the most successful things I've ever done. Like being a Spanish teacher, I was an excellent Spanish teacher. You know what I'm saying? My students run up on me in the malls to this day. They grown ass people now, you know, and they like Mr. Ferris, we so proud. You know what I'm saying? So, or they'll be like, I used to have a call and response in my class where if I wanted to get their attention or just start off the class, I'd be like, pura vida clase. And they'd be like, tuanis, right? And so it's just, it's like Costa Rican slang. But I'll be out somewhere and they'll just yell that shit. And I'm like, who the heck? Who in here, you know? But it's like, it's a reflection of the environment that I was able to create, the culture I was able to create, and the bonds I was able to build while I was there. That was success, you know? And so then fast forward to something like Rhythm and Flow where, you know, you got people who don't feel successful, who think this show is their avenue to success, and they carry an energy of desperation. Yeah. And that it tells on itself. You show up asking for stuff, people actually want to reject that shit. They do. Whereas you show up like, no, I got it. You know what I'm saying? I might let y'all borrow it. You know what I'm saying? Then they're more interested in like, okay, what's your story? Tell us how you figured out that one little secret that is you don't, success is not on the other side of any one achievement. It's something you have already. Then all the achievements, they start adding up. Because you could achieve it and lose it. Yeah. They got to add up. So you got to be it. You got to have it in you. And then just keep walking in that. You know what I'm saying? Through ups and downs. Because financially, you got to define it. Because financially, it's going to look like all kinds of things given the season. You better put some of it somewhere where you got the discipline not to touch it. You know what I'm saying? So success... it's the minute I'm impactful, the minute I'm aligned, the minute I'm, you know what I'm saying, comfortable in my own skin, I've already achieved a certain degree of success. Now, do I have goals that I haven't achieved yet? For sure. You know what I'm saying? I'm billions, you feel me? Dig? You feel me?
Let's talk about this long road of when you choose service. Yeah. Because by the time you did the Netflix show, you had already put out an album years ago. You had already been on this road. This wasn't new for you. Right. How do you avoid the frustrations that come with, man, I'm doing the work, I know I'm dope, I got the music, but it's not happening for me yet?
I can't even say I avoid the frustrations all the way. You know, I experience the frustration, you know, I sit with the frustration, but, you know, I have a strong team and we strategize, we work together, we build, you know, and then like you said, from wherever you are, trying to reflect on what you can give. Like, how can I, like, soon as you, like, don't let yourself spiral and go back to like, all right, there's a lot of people right now who, if I reached out to, it would mean the world to them. You know what I'm saying? If I show up somewhere, it means it might take a little energy for me. I might have to knock the rust off or, you know, wipe the sleep out my eyes and be like, all right, I'm gonna go outside or I'm gonna call this person. And it means everything to them. And once you tap in with that energy of giving, then it's so refreshing. It's a reminder that it's like, you know, we don't have to buy into anybody else's idea of what it means to be winning, to be on. You know what I'm saying? You always have something to give. You feel me?
You're very confident, and a lot of people are not. I always say real recognize real. I always tell people like you can tell how somebody feels about themselves based on how they speak and how they treat other people. And that is something that this industry as a whole, I believe, is missing.
Right.
People try to define who they are based on like what they do. Like if you were unconfident, you would just wake up in the morning as D-Smoke, and you be D-Smoke all day because that's the only part of you feel is like cool or successful. Right. So what do you do to keep yourself grounded when you're not being D-Smoke?
When I'm not being D-Smoke, well, I'm D-Smoke to my family too. So like, well, not D-Smoke. If you call me D-Smoke, I know you probably seen a music video. So if you call me Smoke, then you might be one of the homies, you know. So, but I go to the gym regularly with Sir. Sir is a beast in the gym. I go to the gym, I work out, you know. When I can, I read, listen to my audiobooks. I try to keep my environment clean, you know what I'm saying, so I can keep my mind clean. I box, you know, so I just stay active, you know, in ways that challenge me enough to where you get that confidence. Like when I was little, my uncle made me fight my best friend. He taught me how to fight, right? And I'm like 6 years old. I'm like, I don't want to fight him. This is my friend. You know what I'm saying? But as like a metaphor for life, once at an early age, once I realized like, oh shit, I know how to squabble. You know what I'm saying? That confidence translated into so much, right? And it's like knowing that nobody can impose their will on you is something that you carry, right? And so now as an adult, I don't have to fight. I walk away. I don't want none of them problems. But to have the energy that is like, every day I challenge myself to a certain extent. You know, I push myself physically, or I take care of myself at a certain way. Or there are standards of people I associate with and others that I won't. You know what I'm saying? It's all how you structure your stuff outside of your work that keeps you feeling like, okay, I deserve to be here. You know, I have something to contribute. And when I walk into a room, the room is better for me being there. I'm not pulling from it. I'm contributing to it. You know, and that just has to do with the work you do every day. What's your routine? You know, mine has a couple good things on it, you know. And when I don't, the hard part is when I miss it, I feel it. Like, man, I ain't been working out, and nigga been eating whatever, and nigga been like hanging out with the homies too much, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes you gotta chill, you gotta relax, but it's that balance, you know? Yeah. So.
You are so California. Listen, you say homies is so funny.
Homie.
But like, that reminds me, I feel like California, New York, Texas, and I don't know where else, but I feel like in those three places, you can be super successful, millionaire status as an artist and never leave. Meanwhile, you on tour. We in Dallas.
Yeah.
You are outside. Yeah, we national.
We here.
How did you get past the I'm just a California artist hump?
I think I make music that tells California stories from a different perspective, right? It's so much, everybody has heard a certain element of Cali, right? But they haven't heard, you know, it's not common that you hear somebody who can narrate like LA, California culture from like a sober standpoint. And I say sober in that, like if you pure gangbang music where you promoting it, it's like, it's intoxicating. Right, that lifestyle is intoxicating. So if you in it and telling it, you're not telling a sober man's view. You in fight or flight. Whereas you're not a true narrator. You know what I'm saying? So for me, being close enough to it to experience it, but not be consumed by it, that allows my music to, you know, speak to a wider audience. Right, LA, we kind of judge it like by how authentic is this? It's like a competition. Like, how gangster is your? You know what I'm saying? So, and that's where the regional stuff leans. Like regional LA music is is super hood, you know what I'm saying? Super party ratchet, like, you know what I'm saying? And it's a place for that. But to take it to an audience that has never experienced it, you kind of gotta not code switch, but you gotta speak that language and you gotta translate across worlds. I don't know if that makes sense, but
I read
it's not regional though. Like if D Smoke music is not regional music, and I fuck with regional music for what it is. You know, it's just not what I do.
Did this mentality come from you just being older and growth, or have you always been this way?
I mean, I was an old soul as a young kid. You know what I'm saying? So even when I first started rapping, because I started rapping late. My homie Chiz, rest in peace. We were in a rap group together, and when we literally had a meeting where we was like, we gonna make a project and we gonna blow this shit up. You know what I'm saying? And we talked about the principle of like chocolate covered broccoli, as gross as that shit sounds. Like,
it does.
It sounds terrible. Or how about sweet and sour broccoli, right?
Disgusting.
Sweet and sour. You don't like sweet and sour?
I'm not a fan.
Chicken?
I'm vegetarian.
Oh, okay. Okay, well.
Sorry.
But the whole principle of like you gotta cook it up in such a way that it entices people, but still has the value on the inside of it. You know, that was always the goal, even when I was 19, 20, 21. You know, but I started off producing music, and the homie who was the rapper was like, all right, this is how we gonna do it. And all my favorite artists and rappers have done that to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? That's why we love Outkast, you know what I'm saying? That's why we love Pac, you know? And everybody else, I mean, Lauren, one of the greatest to ever do it, Jay-Z, you know, it's not because they talked about the drug dealing or the gangbanging. It's because they gave you the heart behind it, the why, the storytelling that made it human, you know? So it's not because I'm older, it's because it's older rappers that don't never decide to take that approach, you know? And the hard part is they keep doing what their brand demands, but the human behind it elevates to a whole new way of thinking, and they still making the music and performing the music that is fast food.
That's why I'm such a fan of like J. Cole, because when you listen to his albums, you hear the growth in every single album. Like you can tell he write his music.
But he also started off as somebody who was giving you gems from, you know what I'm saying, from Friday Night Lights. You know what I'm saying? Like, I remember before he blew up, somebody told me about him, and I used to put his music in the headphones, and I was working at UCLA, living close to UCLA, and I would jog like 4 miles just listening to that tape, you know. And I remember thinking like, dang, he ain't even trying to make the kind of hooks that's like super catchy radio stuff, but he's spitting, you know. So if you finish how you start, you can't run full speed in one direction and try to end up somewhere else. You know what I'm saying? Like if you headed into growth and consciousness, then that's where you're gonna head. If you headed the other way, you can't all of a sudden. It's people who do that, and you can tell when they do it. Like, you've been making ratchet music, now you're trying to make a conscious song, and you sound like you're trying to make a conscious song. Like, nigga,
instead of just being you.
Just be you, you know. But not to say that people can't change and develop. You know, it's just. But
you can tell when it's genuine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
And honest, forget conscious, make honest music. Because even if you're talking your ratchet stuff, you're going through stuff at the same time. The minute you turn and start talking about it, the people know and we respect it, you know. So, yeah, I don't know if Tupac's music was necessarily conscious. Like, Dear Mama ain't a conscious song, it's an honest song.
Yeah, it's very real.
Know? Like, so.
Keep your head up. My favorite Tupac is like Tupac Lives Now, Tupac, Strictly for My Niggas, Tupac. Oh, you can't miss it.
Like, how do you want it?
How do you feel? Coming up as a nigga in the cash game, living in the fast lane. I'm a brick. That first verse, you couldn't tell me shit. I like the way. Hey, okay, anyway.
The line. Bang it, baby, I let it where you flaunt it, turn to give it to daddy,
nigga. Now tell me how you want it. I was like, ooh, like, yeah.
Going out, you stupid.
Oh my god.
Going on.
But no, I'm glad you said radio. You have at least 1 million Instagram followers. You are on a national tour right now. And at least I know here, your music is not on the radio. You are so incredibly impactful without it. I say that because artists always DM me like, how can I get my song played? And I could easily lie and be like, just keep working. But I be telling people the truth.
What? What is the truth? Tell me.
The truth is, at least the bigger the city, if you're not already charting, we're not playing your shit. The radio does not break music. So I don't know who get them checks, but I know there are some checks involved. Right. They don't come to my pocket, but there's a check somewhere in there that was written somewhere that somebody got, and then boom, all of a sudden this song play every hour and a half. So if you're not at that level where you can spend that much money and give the check to whoever the fuck it's supposed to go to, your music not gonna get played. Right. But that doesn't mean you can't be impactful. Like Soulja Boy was making $10,000 a show before radio. Drake was getting bands a show before radio. How do you move like that without it? Like, I just want you to tell these artists to stay out of my DMs because there's still a way to be successful without radio.
Man, it's hard to say because the main thing is be resourceful from wherever you got to act. What they say, think globally, act locally, right? There were stages in my career when I only had my little storefront. I did a show right there. It's the size of like a mid-sized barbershop, but we had sound system. I was crazy, and live band tucked in there. And then we did something super local that was hella dope, to where it was bursting at the seams. So it feels dope to do something that holds 50 people and you get 80 in that mug. You know what I'm saying? So then from there, that was like, hey, we gonna take this to a new location. We built the following. We took it to a larger location, then we filled that up. Then we had artists like Kenyon Dixon, Alex Isley, Sir, Terrace Martin, Robert Glasper, myself, Il Camille, just a lot of artists that like went from there and went worldwide, and so it's like you gotta grow it. You know what I'm saying? For artists that's doing it independently, it's like a triangle. It's like what music you putting out, what marketing materials like visuals and content you putting out, and then it's what live experiences you're creating. How are you tangible to the core fans? You don't got to be tangible to everybody, but you got to touch and reach somebody. You know what I'm saying? Because that's going to be like your main vehicle in people like blowing this up. Word of mouth is still the most powerful thing, because you could pay for a grip of marketing, but if ain't nobody talking about it, it's going to come and go. So. And then, so those three things, the music is super important still, because that's what people gonna press play on. Then the content that goes behind it. Then who are you reaching tangibly? Where are you? And when nobody's asking you to show up, you have to create. You know what I'm saying? Something that people could pull up to. And the more creative you are, the doper it could be. You could hit up a shoe store, like a new shoe store in your hood, and be like, we over at the shoe store doing a meet and greet. If the smaller it is, the better when you first get started. Just make it look fly, show up, dress the part, you know what I'm saying? Have your own camera person capture it and make that a piece of content too. So it's that the movement you create. Like nobody jumps on a train if it ain't going nowhere. You gotta already be in motion. And then everybody like, hey, wait, let me be a part of that. I love your movement. People mess with it independently. We don't have the advantage of FOMO and fame being the reason why, and fame being the reason why people listen to the music. And, people recognize me from the show and stuff, but the road that you take to having a strong core base of fans is so very different than the road that created my visibility. There are people who are like, man, I love D Smoke. Every time I want to see him, I turn on Netflix again. I'll be like, man, I'm a pro musician. Man. Like, go to Apple Music or YouTube, something. Go to my stuff, And so we still have to take those strides that builds a solid sound core fan base that creates the demand for things like your song on the radio or, concerts at the venues that hold over, 10,000 people and stuff like that. There's no shortcuts to that degree of success, period.
I just want you to know, I have never seen that show on Netflix.
No?
No.
Hey, there we go.
And I'm still a fan.
There we go.
Yeah.
Respect.
Straight up.
I've watched it probably like twice all the way through.
It'd be weird sometimes.
It's tough.
Like, I write books. I've never read a book that I wrote after it was published because I already read it 40 times to edit it out. Like, right. But nah, like you dope.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You real dope.
I appreciate that. It's gonna be a good show tonight. You in the building?
Period.
Hey,
Hell,
let's go. It's gonna be a good time.
And it's standing room only, so it's like I like the Bond Factory because like it holds. I don't know, a few thousand people, I think. But, like, it's such a legendary place. Like, Erykah Badu has her birthday bash there every year.
Dope.
And she's Erykah Badu.
Dope.
So, like, you in great company.
Let's
like,
go.
that venue was known for, like, just legendary, dope-ass music stuff.
Let's go. It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, I believe that. You give good energy.
Yes. Yes.
So to the artists, especially here, there are so many talented ass artists in Dallas who they might still be on that grand opening of the shoe store level of their career. What advice do you give to them so they can keep going?
I mean, you kind of said it. My uncle told me at that time, he was like, "You're doing it. Keep going." And part of keep going is, of course, be open to learn. It's like, if you was an athlete, I would say watch the tapes. You know what I'm saying? But in music, that just means like reflect on each move you make. All right, what is this event? Know your numbers. What is this event? How many people we get in there? You know what I'm saying? How much merch did we get off? Okay, what was our marketing promotion? What were the things that we use? What are your analytics? You know what I'm saying? And the more you assess, the more you get better at each element. Like, the music industry is like the ocean, right? But your specific business is the ship that you build. You know what I'm saying? You could tweak little things, you could add little, fix your motor, your engine and stuff. The better that you build your business, the more you're able to navigate the waters when it's rocky and all that stuff. Like, and it'll throw some of everything at you. It's seasonal, I also read books of very successful people, like Will Smith's book. People don't know he had 2 Grammys and owed $3 million in taxes, which means he made way more than that, owed $3 million in taxes and got everything repossessed and had to live on somebody's couch before Fresh Prince, of Bel-Air. He was, DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. I've read Kevin Hart's book. He had couple $100,000 deals for TV shows that were never created. But, he got the check and had to go back out on tour and do small rooms. Like these huge, Dave Chappelle went back to doing small rooms. We'll still step in a small room and just work on his material. So it's so many stories include that phase where it's like, even Pharrell said, I blew up 10 times before I blew up. You know what I'm saying? So it's on you to keep going and write a new chapter. You know what I'm saying? So, but when you just stuck in the moments, the beauty of these books is that you could take a week and experience a whole life of somebody else.
Yep.
And it puts it in perspective. So the place where you're at, you be like, okay, cool, I'm just in chapter 4. Let me chill. It makes sense of it. Whereas your mind and your insecurities or the world will try to convince you that chapter 4 is the story of your life. And it's just not true. It's that little moment. I got more peaks and more valleys probably. You know what I'm saying? But it's just that chapter, So.
You dope. Thank you so much for coming through.
It's a pleasure. I feel like an old man. I be trying to be like fun and shit in my interviews, but I always end up preaching and some shit.
I tell you a secret. I'm only a year younger than you, so
hey, we in the same boat
type shit.